So in this lecture, we'll talk a little bit more on the modified force. Okay. So every force has a differential equation linked with it, and when you solve the differential equation, you get an equation of motion. Okay, that is given here. So when you have a ball freely falling under gravity, okay, it means the earth is exerting a force on the ball which is equals to mass of the ball into g. Agreed? So when your force is F equals to mg, okay, it means you have a freely falling object. Now when you change the environment, by changing the environment, for example, consider you put hypothetically water everywhere, and you make the ball which was initially free falling now fall under gravity inside water. Then what happens? As I said earlier, if you change the environment, any type of change in environment will be reflected by an addition of subtraction of a force term in the main equation. So this is the main equation. So in this case, when there is a water, what will be the modification in the force equation? So there will be F equals to mg, okay, and the modification will depend on whether the environment is putting force in the same direction or in the opposite direction. In this case, the environment puts a drag force in the opposite direction. Hence, it is decreasing the net force. Hence, there is a minus, and the drag force we all know is K into V. We have already discussed it in our last class. So, this is system number one. System number one is free fall system. Now, we'll deal with the system number two. Now, system number two will have a mass, but this mass will be attached to a spring. Okay, and then the entire thing will be connected to a wall. Now, in this case, what is the force equation? The governing force equation is F equals to minus kx. Okay, and this force equation has a differential equation linked with it, which we all know as d square x divided by dt square. Okay, so this is from the chapter oscillation. So if you want more details, then it's better you read the oscillation chapter that we have provided in this CD. So omega square x equals to 0. Okay, now a little bit change in environment. What change? Again, put water everywhere. Okay, so make this SHM happen inside water. What happens then? Then there will be a modification of force. So in the presence of water, the initial force equation, which is F equals to minus kx, this thing will get modified, and there will be an extra term minus kv, because this drag force again opposes the original motion like it did in the free fall case. Agreed? So this is another example of force modification when you change the environment. Okay, so let me make some things clear. Whenever you change the environment, you add an extra term to the original force equation. Oh, this k is different. Okay, so let me write k dash. So let me take another variable that will be better. So because both k will confuse you, so let me take b. So let me write in b. Okay, so what I want to say is, if you have a change in environment, then that change will be reflected by an addition or subtraction in the original equation. If you want to do some changes in the spring, then you need to do the changes in the k part here. And if you want to do some changes in the mass, then you have to, in the first case, some changes in mass will be reflected here directly. Okay, will be reflected here directly, and the environment is reflected here with the minus kv. So the extra term added to the force equation represents the environment. So we end our lecture on force, differential equation, and equation of motion. I hope things are clear that how the classical mechanics is actually working. But this is not the end. These equations led us to some new amazing understanding. Okay, and we will reach to this amazing understanding through what we have developed till now and a little bit of use in mathematics. So let us see. So one thing is sure, we learned about force, and we know that force creates acceleration. So it is mass into acceleration. Then somebody saw this equation very carefully and he found something amazing. He said that if I multiply mass into acceleration, then what is acceleration? He said acceleration is nothing but rate of change of velocity with respect to time. Okay. Then he thought that, hey, since the mass is constant, I can take the mass inside the velocity. Then he said that the entire equation will look d, so time derivative of mv, that is mass into velocity. And this was an amazing thing. This was an amazing thing. For the first time, the force was completely described by a rate of change of something. Now, so initially the force was described by an equation F equals to ma depicting force creates acceleration. But now after using this, something mathematically amazing happened. That mathematically amazing thing is that now the force is or can be described by a rate of change of something, and that something is mass into velocity, and that something is called as momentum p. Try to understand. No doubt these two equations, this and this, are same, but really they say a lot of things. In fact, second equation says more. Second equation gives us more information than the first equation. That's why this equation is considered as very crucial. The second information says that there is some quantity called as momentum, and this momentum can be described by mass of an object and its velocity. You multiply them, you get a momentum, and rate of change of this momentum gives you force. So there is some quantity called as momentum whose rate of change of is force. So one special condition is when force acting on an object is 0, then you can easily say that d by dt of momentum, which is equals to force, is 0. And this equation directly says something amazing, and this is saying that the momentum is constant. This is quite amazing. Let me tell you why this is amazing. The reason is, what happens when usually force is 0? So one easy thing that you can think of when force is 0 is that there is no motion. So this is case A, when we have no motion of the ball, because you know every motion is created by force, and if there is no motion so if there is no force, there won't be any type of motion, so the ball is still. But the mathematical equation momentum equals to constant when force is 0 is saying one more thing that may not be intuitively clear, but actually this is true in our world. The second thing is that if a ball is moving at a constant velocity, so if a ball of mass m moves with a constant velocity, what is the momentum? Momentum is mv. Now take a look. Velocity is constant, mass is constant. So what does the equation saying? If the momentum is constant, then there is no force. So the amazing thing is, even if this ball is moving at a constant velocity, there is no force acting on this ball. It means there are two cases when we do not have force. Case number 1, when an object is still, and case number 2, when an object is moving at a constant velocity. In both these cases, we do not have force. So it means when you have the net force 0, there can be cases. See, there is another thing called as a net force. So net force means total force. When I said if an object is at rest, it means there is no force. See, there can be like this also. You take an object, tie it to the string, and you hang it from a string, and you say that this object of mass m is not moving, so there is no force. Now that is a lie, because you know earth is pushing it with a force mg, and the tension is balancing the force. So in this case, if there is no motion, then more precise statement will be net force is 0. So if there is no motion, a precise statement is net force is 0. Now another thing is saying that if you have, so this is A. So another thing is saying that if you have a ball moving of mass m moving at a constant velocity v, then also you are saying that the force is 0. Yes, I mean the net force is 0. Okay, so let me give you an example. So consider you take a glass slab, and this glass slab is placed on a very thin layer of liquid. Okay, now there can be a, so now roll this glass slab by using some force F. Agreed? Something interesting happens. When the glass slab tries to move forward because of this force F, there is a viscous force acting in the opposite direction. Let that viscous force be F dash. And when this F, so when this F is equivalent to F dash, it means the net force on the glass slab is 0, and in this special case the glass slab is seen to move at a constant velocity v. Quite amazing, right? So when I say when I say if an object is moving at a constant velocity, it can either mean there is no force, or it can mean that the net force can be 0. Okay, so now you understood that. Okay, you say that okay, everything is done. These are two crazy stuff, I understand, but there is one more crazy stuff with linked with momentum, and that we'll do in next lecture.